have a bone to pick with America!
Is it worth it being on your knees, mouth agape, pants down for corporation? Because I am a cis white lady, I am one of the demographics most often told to unpack my
Hey guys, I'm Brad Polumbo, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to my series, Brad vs. TikTok, where I take on the craziest ideas going viral on the Clock app, and subject myself to losing brain cells for your enjoyment. If you're new here, consider subscribing, liking, commenting, yada yada yada. I'm really hoping to get to 100k soon and get that silver play button. We're growing so fast, we're gonna get there soon. So if you watch these videos regularly, subscribe, stick around.
Can you guys please just hurry up and do it? I'm getting sick of him blabbering about it.
Now, buckle up and get ready, because some of these are, quite something.
I have a bone to pick with America! So
I'm trying to nap. Why is this lady screaming?
Sorry, Reggie.
I'm headed to my serving job. I hate it. I hate it. Tell me why I make more money serving. I have my literal business marketing degree that put me in a cute $80,000 in debt. And I make more serving sushi rolls because I've been applying to marketing jobs for weeks now. And the pay cut is insane. Insane. But the jobs that are like a cute 150 to 200,000 a year, I'm not getting those. I'm a almost 25-year-old, my birthday's soon, almost 25-year-old chick going against, corporate America, people with so much experience. All I got is my degree. People say, get your degree, but then they don't talk about how you need experience. The degree was the experience! I need to relax.
Do you guys feel bad for her? Let me know in the comments, because I'm kind of two minds on this one. Part of me does feel bad for this girl. One, I've never worked as a server, but I've heard it's really tough, and so I am sympathetic to her that line of work is not easy. And two, I do think we tell everyone to go to college, and we push them towards this path that isn't necessarily the right thing for them. But you also did not have to go 80k into debt to get a degree in marketing. You could have gone to a community college for 2 years, then transferred to a public state school, and gotten that same degree without 80k in debt. That is a consequence of your own actions, so I don't feel too bad for you on that part. And you know what? It does suck that your entry-level marketing job is maybe going to be a pay cut from serving, but I think you'll be okay, and I think you just might need to make that trade-off, because in the long run, by being in marketing and climbing the food chain, I'm sure you can make a lot more than you'd ever be able to by serving. So sometimes you have to think about your long-term prospects, not just the short term. I do have a little bit of sympathy for her, though I do find this style of talking to the phone and like ranting and screaming a little bit interesting. At the same time, I mean, look, you've got the world at your fingertips. You live in one of the most free and prosperous countries in the world. You're going to be okay. But we should think about why we push so many kids to go to college and why we don't offer more alternatives, because it's clearly not working out for everyone. Up next, you white women need to be doing your homework, whatever that means.
Privilege I did not expect to have, but I'm very happy to have, is because I am a cis white lady, I am one of the demographics most often told to unpack my and since I was not resistant to that, and hopefully continue to be not resistant to that, I am always unpacking something like, oh, am I doing this? So I'm always confused when I run into another cis white lady and realize she has not unpacked her once. Like, we have homework. Have you not been doing the homework?
I encountered this in college a lot, but whenever somebody starts a sentence with as a identity group, whatever they're about to say is just cringe woke virtue signaling like 90% of the time. And that's exactly what this is. You see these types on TikTok desperate to prove they're one of the good white people who understands how evil and racist they are. Meanwhile, I hold the apparently radical viewpoint that everybody should be self-reflective and self-critical, regardless of their race or gender, and that nobody should have more homework, whatever that means, on the basis of their race or gender. And I just hate the way these woke videos and these TikTokers are constantly highlighting and accentuating the divides between identity groups. And what we should really be trying to do is let those things fade into the background so that pretty much nobody's treating you differently based on your race or sex in most situations. They're doing the opposite and trying to call it progress. Up next, some truly unhinged alarmism from the Clock app.
You aware that we've had 28 mass shootings this month? 28. Today's October 17th. So if I do my math correctly, that's a lot more than one a day. That's insane. And I'm defining this as any event in which 3 or more people are killed or injured by a firearm. And most of these events this month have been far more than 3. We're talking 6, 7, 8 people killed or injured by a firearm. It's absolutely mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. And the thing is, we have so many issues both domestically and internationally right now. We don't have a Speaker of the House because Republicans are in absolute house. And a lot of these issues, climate change, abortion, gun control, everything going on internationally, Republicans seem to have zero solutions for them. Zero. They are way more focused on getting airtime on Sean Hannity, airtime on Fox News, getting as many clicks as they can. Meanwhile, Americans suffer and Americans die. It's unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable. Please, we have to do something.
There's a lot to unpack there.
I think somebody forgot to take his Adderall today.
Reggie, be nice. So this is a good example of emotional demagoguery in political rhetoric, or how people scare you with false or misleading rhetoric into supporting a certain political agenda. When you or I hear the term mass shooting, our minds go to Columbine or Parkland, these senseless tragedies where many people are killed in an indiscriminate act of violence. But Chris and other anti-gun activists use a definition of mass shooting that is not in line with what most people think of when they hear the word. They are actually counting incidents where no one died as mass shootings. Their definition would include an accidental gun discharge where 3 people sustained minor injuries. That's not what most people consider a mass shooting. So when you tell them there have been 28 mass shootings, more than one a day, you're scaring them beyond what the facts actually call for. Here's how this works out in practice, and a good example of how data can be used to manipulate the public because people underestimate your intelligence. When you use a distorted definition similar to the one Chris uses in his video, and you look at 2019 data, you come up with 418 mass shootings in the year of 2019. That's a staggering and astounding amount if you truly think about what a mass shooting is in the public consciousness, and it would have many Americans feeling very scared to leave their homes. But when you use a more accurate definition of a mass shooting that excludes things like gang violence and only applies to incidents where 4 or more are killed, you get 6 mass shootings in 2019. Of course, that's still 6 too many. We all agree there's too much gun violence in America, and we all want there to be less. But what I won't stand for is emotional demagoguery that tries to scare people needlessly and trick them into supporting an agenda that undermines their own rights. And I didn't hear any actual solutions in there. Just alarmism, some F-bombs, and some cheap jabs at Republicans. Making this video pretty par for the course for liberal TikTok, unfortunately. Up next, those of us who understand basic economics are apparently just corporate stooges. Take a look.
The reason why I need folks with no critical thinking skills and no class consciousness to never speak is because 10 years ago we were like, hey, the federal minimum wage is $7.25. We need at least $15 an hour to live comfortably. And everybody and their mama was like, no, stop, hold, we can't do that. If we make every company pay their workers $15 an hour, that means that basic necessities will skyrocket in price. Now, mind you, we are sitting here, 2023, okay? Federal minimum wage, still $7.25. And yo eggs cost what? $6. Do you feel bonita? Was it worth it being on your knees, mouth agape, pants down for corporations? The fact that y'all were activists for corporations. Embarrassing. Now look at us. Struggling, starving, sad.
She really thinks she did something. Babe, no one ever said that minimum wage increases were the only thing that increased prices. Although there actually have been minimum wage increases in many states and localities. But the fact that prices have gone up for other reasons in the interim while the federal minimum wage remains unchanged doesn't change the fact that raising the minimum wage would still increase prices. It's Econ 101. When you increase the costs that businesses face, it leads to a decrease in supply, which results in higher prices. But that's not even the main argument against a $15 minimum wage. I want to know why you think you own me and own my body. If I want to work at a job for $14 an hour somewhere and a local business wants to pay me and have me at that amount, that's none of your business. It's my life. It's my labor and it's my body. I should be able to engage in whatever mutually beneficial trade that I want with it. Other than that, go off, I guess. Up next, don't believe your lying eyes at the grocery store checkout line. The economy's actually great under Biden. Just listen to this TikToker explain it.
Look, folks, contrary to what you may hear from some people, the economy is good. Unemployment is at a 50-year low. Wages are up 4%. People are saving more. Inflation has plummeted. America's recovery from the pandemic is one of the best in the world, and we're leading among G7 countries. But you wouldn't know this by reading the news. Nobody is talking about these things. Why? Well, according to Harvard economists, one of the main reasons is that the economy gets politicized. Media outlets don't want to say that the economy is actually good because then it appears that they're just supporting whoever's currently in office, and in this case that would be President Biden. So listen, let's celebrate a little. We are recovering very well from the pandemic, and that is something that every single American can be happy about.
The delusion is off the charts. Most Americans don't feel optimistic about the economy because what they're seeing all around them does not match up with the Biden White House talking points this TikToker apparently has gotten. The biggest reason for that is inflation. Because while inflation is falling, what that means is that the rate of inflation has come down from its highest points. But prices have not gone down. They continue to go up and up and up, simply at a slower pace. So people still can't afford the things they need, and that hasn't gotten better. Grocery prices have increased 20% since Biden took office, and energy prices almost 45%.
You would not believe the price of turkey these days.
Electricity, clothes, gasoline, food away from home, you name it. It's more expensive today by a lot than it was when Biden took office. That's why Americans are still struggling and still feel pessimistic. And no amount of talking points will change people's perception of that reality around them. It's also not true that wages have gone up under Biden once you account for inflation. When you do that, you'll see that wages are actually lower now than they were when he took office. It is true that the unemployment rate is low, but it's really just close to back to what it was 2018, 2019, pre-COVID. And it doesn't tell the full story because millions of Americans have dropped out of the labor force entirely and stopped looking for work, so they're not counted as unemployed in the official unemployment rate. I'm not saying that everything in the economy is terrible right now, but it's not rosy sunshine, and no amount of TikTok propaganda will convince Americans that what they're seeing all around them isn't real. Alright guys, that's all the TikTok I can handle in one day without losing brain cells or sustaining permanent brain damage. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking, subscribing, commenting, yada yada yada, and I'll see you all next time.